What's happening, guys? Welcome to the NNN podcast. I'm Nathan, and welcome to another instalment of the All Eyes on series, the series where we go through each team in the Premier League one by one and pick the bones out of each club individually. Now, last episode we did Arsenal. Be sure to check that out if you haven't. And today we're doing a club not too close to our hearts, it must be said, Aston Villa, aka the Vile. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, Mr. Matthew North. How are you doing, sir?
I'm alright, buddy. How are you?
Not too bad, thank you. Not too bad.
Good.
Now then, Aston Villa, the pride of the Midlands, some would say. I wouldn't, personally. Never
Debatable.
have, never would.
Debatable.
No chance. But yeah, let's talk about Villa. And let's start off with Big Daddy Dean Smith. What are your views on Big Dean?
um, well, I think he did okay at Brentford, didn't he? He kind of probably put the foundations down at Brentford and
Oh, for sure.
got brought in at Villa and took them up. So he's done a good job and he kept him up by the skin of the teeth. Some may say lucky, and I'd probably agree. Very fortunate with what.
Well, factually, they were fortunate.
Yeah,
I mean, they stayed up by a technical glitch that is yet to happen in football.
yeah.
Hawkeye failing. So
So it's
let's be real.
we're kind of yeah. He's very fortunate to still be in the Premier League. As a manager, do I rate him? I'm not that keen. I'm not that keen, to be honest with you. He doesn't kind of, if his name was being branded about with our lot, I wouldn't be that happy. And I don't think he's the kind of manager that's going to get poached anytime soon. Does he suit
No.
Villa at this moment in time? Maybe so. But in the long term, if Villa want to get up to the dizzy heights of the top six or the top eight, that is where they were once upon a time, I'm not so sure Dean Smith's the man to take them down that route personally. But as it stands, he's doing an okay job. He's kept him in the Premier League. But as the future holds for Dean and Aston Villa, if I'm a Villa fan, I wouldn't lose too much sleep if he was being linked elsewhere. That's for sure.
Well, I think let's first of all give him his dues. I mean, he earned the Villa job off his own merit. Did very well at Walsall. Got a job at Brentford. Did very well at Brentford. Ended up at Villa. Villa fan, Villa boy.
Mm.
But you talked about the dizzy heights of 10th or 6th or whatever. I mean, based off last season, I think 15th will be classed as dizzy heights of Villa.
Yeah,
And I don't know. I just think, is he just a good championship manager? He did not. I mean, let's be honest. He got away by the skin of his arse
very
last
much
season.
so. Yeah,
The money they spent, and they were a very poor side. A
very.
very poor side. I mean, I know they got to the Carabao Cup final, but then they turned up in the final and they may as well, they just bent over and City had their way with them for 90 minutes.
Yeah,
So, you know, it's always difficult, I think. You've got to be careful what you wish for, because what can Aston Villa seriously expect at the moment? They could have recruited better last season. Yes, we'll
mm.
move on to their recruitment now this season. I know they've not changed philosophy. I mean, they're still throwing money at it like it's going out of fashion.
Yeah,
Let's have it straight. They're
yeah,
still
yeah.
throwing dosh at it. But have they recruited better this season? So far, I would say yes. They've brought in Matty Cash from another one of our beloved neighbours, Nottingham Forest. And they've also brought in Ollie Watkins and Emiliano Martinez from
Mm.
Arsenal, are probably the three most notable acquisitions to date. What are your views on those?
I think it's a gamble. I think it's a gamble, and I think as a club like Villa, and I think when you're in that relegation dogfight, which they were, and you want to
Yeah.
try and move away from that, I think you've got to bring in some established Premier League players with experience. I'm all for buying the younger players, British players, or and helping them progress. Our club are very good at doing that, and so are other clubs. But I think for Villa, I think they needed to be looking at clubs that were higher up the table, that maybe have got a few players that were out of favour, that are established in the Premier League, that got the experience, the players that are going to
Hmm.
be able to, that are going to be able to turn a game on its head. They're going to score the goals. I like Ollie Watkins. I've seen him at Brentford a few times last year. He looks a good striker. He looks the real deal, but he's only done it in the
It's
Championship.
a big
It's a
jump.
big
It is a
jump.
big
It's a
jump. And
massive jump.
Brentford, I know if anyone who watched the championship, Brentford created chances at will, and
Mm.
they were pressing on the front foot in the vast majority of games. A lot of his goals came in the 6 yard box. He'll get one chance, two chances a game, a sniff a game. He won't be on the front foot in a team creating chances at will, cutting teams apart. So it's going to be a very
No.
different kettle of fish. Personally, I think he'll struggle. I think he'll struggle to hit double figures this season. I know he scored the other night in the Carabao Cup, but that's against Burton Albion. Make of that what you will. But
Mm.
I personally don't see him cutting the mustard in the Premier League. I think for Villa, we're talking about signings, but the biggest signing surely they've done is the retention of Jack Grealish, Super Jack Grealish, the star
Yeah.
of that team,
Yeah.
the diamond in the rough. I mean, let's be honest. Out of that, it was a horrible team last season to watch. A horrible team. There was nothing about them, but they had
No.
that little man, Jack Grealish. He was the one with the bit of stardust in his ankles, the one who could make things happen. And I
Mm.
think the best business they've done all summer is keeping Jack. What do you think about that?
Yeah, 100%. He's as good as a signing, isn't he? And he is a good player. Whether we like him or not, and he riles opposition fans up. With his constant throwing
Oh,
himself on the
he's a
ground, and
diving little shit, isn't he? Let's be honest.
yeah, yeah,
Most
he
foul
just
player bullshit. He just hits the deck with his clip in the air.
a slight touch and he's on his backside.
Yeah,
So that side of his game needs, and I think he needs to get rid of. But as a player, technically, yeah, he's fantastic. And
superb.
he's got a great few years ahead of him. Surprised he stayed at Villa a little bit. Okay, it's his boyhood club. Was there genuine interest from other clubs elsewhere? Well, who knows?
Not
I
for
suppose
80 million, I don't
no,
think.
no, I don't think we'll ever know. So yeah, a great bit of business from Villa to keep him on. But the signings, we'll just quickly touch on Matty Cash before we move on. Again, another gamble. Okay, he's done it at Forest, but Forest haven't broken any pots. I know people are probably saying, yeah, but you've got to give these players a chance. You can't just judge them on the club's performance. And I would 100% agree. You look at Harry Maguire at Hull. Hull
Yeah,
get relegated,
Robertson
and
at Hull as
Robertson,
well. Yeah,
but turned out to two great players. So you can't always judge them on, and I get that, and that's fair enough. But I just think it's a gamble, and I think a club like Villa, I don't think they want to be taking too many gambles. And let's be honest, that's two of their three signings,
it's
and
a lot
and,
of
and
money.
it's a lot of money. And
50 odd
I,
million.
I
Yeah.
personally think they should have invested in a lot more experience and established Premier League players that know the drill. They know the trade. They know what they're doing. And I think, I think it's a gamble. But who knows? It could come back to leave egg on my face, and I'll happily admit to it if if it does. But as it stands, yeah, I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm too optimistic if I was a Villa fan right now.
Right then, moving away from the transfers, as I say, we're a bit 50-50, a bit on the edge. It could go one way or the other. Let's
Mm,
talk about their ambitions for the season.
mm,
How do you think they'll get on it? Firstly, in the league, and then we'll stretch on to the cups. Obviously, last season they got to a Carabao Cup final.
mm,
Great achievement for Villa, even though they were absolutely pointless in the final. It was a waste of time,
yeah.
but they still made it to a final. The league, we've already touched on. They were extremely fortunate to stay up. I mean, if
Mm,
you were a Bournemouth fan or a club that went down at their expense because of that error, you'd
mm.
be absolutely spitting feathers. I
Oh yeah.
mean, they absolutely got away with murder towards the end of the season last year, Villa. But they stayed in the league. They're in the Premier League. They've reinvested in the squad. Do you think they'll have a better year this year?
Um, I no, I don't.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't. I really don't. And I think defensively they were shabby. They conceded probably was it something like the worst
Oh,
defense in the league,
I'm
if
not
not
having Tyrone Mings.
no.
I'm not having Tyrone. The English Van Dijk. I'm not having him.
No, no chance. And
No.
I don't. I think they conceded too many goals, and I can't see where the goals are going to come from. They've just brought Ollie Watkins in. You can't expect the poor lad to have that much of expectation on his shoulders to come in and start banging the goals in to keep him up. It's not fair on the lad. They brought that Samatta in. I don't know where he's ended up, but he
Yeah,
didn't really.
Wesley last summer came in
Yeah,
again, big money from Belgium.
yeah,
Did not do it
nothing,
at all. Yeah.
nothing. So I can't see where the goals are coming from, and they've not really improved the defence apart from Matty Cash. So no, I can't see him having a better season. I really can't. And I think, if as a Villa fan, I think they want to be knocking domestic cups on the head. Everyone loves a Wembley. I know everyone loves a trip to Wembley. We all do. But I think you want to be looking at domestic success as in with the cups when you're in the mid-table stage, when you're roaming
Once,
around
yeah,
10th and 9th and you're
100%.
established. You know that's your Wolves, your Leicesters, and of this and
Southampton's, yeah.
Southamptons. They're the type of clubs that want to be taking them cup series. As a Villa fan, I would just be purely. You want to stay up. But you don't just want to stay up with a skinny teeth. You want to be a little bit more convincing. I think
You
you
want
want
to
to be
see
aiming.
progression from
You want to
last year,
see it. You
don't
want to
you?
see a
Yeah,
14th to 12th position finish.
yeah.
And I think I just do. I think that's doable. I don't think it is. I don't think they've strengthened. I don't think COVID's helped. I don't think it's helped any clubs. But preparations haven't been great. I think it's going to be another slow season for Villa, and I'm not just saying that because of our the rivalry and whatever. I'm
Yeah.
just genuine. The squad doesn't look like it's improved, and if the squad hasn't improved, then how are you going to fix the problems? And the problems were they weren't scoring enough goals, and they were conceding too many. And that's a bad recipe. That recipe sends you down. And if it ain't for the Hawkeye error, they're in the Championship this season. So
Oh, 100%.
you know, yeah, I just think Premier League they're going to be in another dogfight. I think that's what Villa fans are going to expect this season.
For sure, Premier League survival is the be all and end all. Anything in the cups is a bonus.
Mm,
We've touched on there. I think it all hits. It comes down to will Ollie Watkins provide the goals? Because, like I said, last season goals were a massive issue. I think Trezeguet bailed them out a few times last year
Mm.
with some big goals at key moments. That won't happen again.
No.
It all boils down to will Ollie Watkins score the goals. I mean, Matty Cash down on the fullback. I don't think he's going to pull up any trees massively. I think it's obviously a good move for him personally going to the
Mm.
Premier League, but I'm not a huge advocate of Dean Smith. I like Grealish with my England hat on. I think he should play for England. When he plays, but those 3 lines are on his chest. My club allegiances go down, and I wish him all the best for
No,
England, and I'll get
100%.
behind
Yeah.
him.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I just think I can't see Villa doing much better than they did last season. And like you said, bar for a technical error, they'll probably be in the Championship right now.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be another difficult season for Aston Villa. Not that I'm
100%.
going to lose too much sleep over it, but that's just our honest opinion. And I think on that note, that was probably where we'll wrap this all eyes on Aston Villa up. We're not too optimistic for their chances this season. We think there's not enough improvement gone on. We're not optimistic for them. Whether we're looking into our own personal biases as Leicester fans, we're not the most fond of Aston Villa, or whether or not you agree with us. Let us know in the comments below if you think we're right or wrong. Please let us know. And we will be back with all these all eyes on series coming up, all different clubs in the Premier League. We're going to go through, so make sure to look out for your club and make sure to drop your comments as always. We'd love to hear from you. But yeah, that'll round up this episode of All Eyes On. Matthew, thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Ta-da,
Peace out.
chaps. Thank you.